Neka, move the champagne and get out of the way. Don't spoil my dream wedding for Christ's sake. Have some respect for the bride.
Respect? Chidi, I am your wife of 10 years.
Oro, it was just your turn. Go around and see how real wives behave. And today I meet my real wife.
Neka was the definition of ride or die. For 10 years, she was the silent engine behind Chidi's perceived success. She remembered the smell of his stress, a mix of stale coffee and expensive cologne, every time he returned from his high-stakes negotiations in Abuja. She worked 2 jobs, one as a primary school teacher and another baking cakes until 2 a.m. to pay off the mortgage on their Lagos home, while Chidi invested his earnings into his consultancy firm. Neka ignored the 3 separate locked burner phones he claimed were for international clients. She ignored the second red flag, why a successful consultant required her to wire her entire salary to his account every month for tax purposes, leaving her with barely enough for her mother's glaucoma medication. And she ignored the fact that he never allowed her to visit his office, claiming it was a high-security government zone. The greedy Chidi kept her in a state of perpetual hope. Just one more merger, Neka, he would say, stroking her hair with hands that hadn't walked a day in years. Then we'll go to Paris.
There we go.
Neka lived for that then. She was a victim of her own loyalty, trapped by a lack of savings and a heart that refused to see the monster in the suit. The 10th anniversary was approaching. Neka decided to be bold. She spent her last 80,000 naira, money meant for her mother's surgery, on a vintage bottle of champagne and a surprise banner. I have a business meeting in Ibadan this weekend, Chidi told her that Friday morning, not even looking her in the eye. Don't call me. The signal at the resort is terrible. Neka didn't listen. She waited until he was showering, snuck into the garage, and curled into the trunk of his massive black SUV. She imagined his laughter, the look of shock on his face when she popped out at the hotel. She held her breath as the engine roared to life. She didn't know that the successful Neka was currently a prisoner in a tomb of her own making. The drive wasn't to a hotel. It was 3 hours of winding roads. Inside the trunk, the heat became a physical weight. The smell of the rubber floor mat strangled her lungs. She felt every bump, every turn, her heart hammering against her ribs. Then the car stopped. She heard voices, joyful voices. When the trunk finally popped open, Neka didn't see a hotel lobby. She saw a white stoned child